Hello, mate. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, baby. The daily series here on the channel where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea. And, mate, there's a lot. Give you my opinion on it. More importantly, asking for yours, of course. Headlines trending on social media. Ronaldo to Chelsea. Come to Chelsea. Of course, statements from both Manchester United and the player himself, Cristiano Ronaldo, has been made. A termination of the contract by mutual consent. They said really nice things about each other and walked away after he slagged them off in an interview with that absolute whopper Piers Morgan. Excuse me. We can talk about that a little bit. We can talk about Romelu Lukaku similarly, because apparently Inter might not retain him for a second loan. Uh-oh. What do we do there? Sorry, I've got really bad hay fever still. I don't know why this time of year. Chelsea looking to potentially recall Tino Livramento for £25 million. Of course, we're looking at Denzel Dumfries of Inter, the Dutch or the Netherlands international. And do we turn to Colwill instead of Gjarvidal? And Fabrizio Romano's spoken out on Arsene Zakarian. So lots to get into, and I hope, I thank you for joining me. Please do drop like on video. Very kind of you, my loyal and wonderful viewers, subscribers. Thank you for liking, and you are welcome to subscribe, and should you choose to do so, you should hit that sweet, sweet bell, baby. Translated, hit the bell. Well, let's start off on Arsene Zakarian, the exciting young De Bruyne-like teenager, 19-year-old I believe he is, certainly still a teenager, tried to join Chelsea in the summer, but there are issues due to the geopolitical happenings. Though he's looking to change his nationality and move to Chelsea, he's gone on record and spoken, I think, more than once about his frustration in not getting his transfer to Chelsea Football Club. And Fabrizio Romano has reiterated yet again that all the terms are agreed to sign this exciting creator, Arsene Zakarian, and Chelsea will look to do this in 2023. Now, I think, personally, that means this January transfer window. And hot dog, we could do with hot, fresh options. Yes, it'd be a player for maybe tomorrow, but oh my god, could he be a player for now? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not asking him to be a Cesc Fabregas regen, but mate, we need that kind of player. You know, that kind of like, you know, Manchester United have got Bruno Fernandes, whatever you think of him, he is that audacity. Man City have got Kevin De Bruyne. The way Liverpool play, they get it from their fullbacks. We don't really play like how they do. Do you know what I mean? We tried to get that kind of player through Hakim Ziyech, and many of you will rightly be like, yeah, we've dropped the ball on that one, not because he's a bad player, he's an excellent player, but we just never got the best out of Ziyech. But he's got that audacious pass in him. Anyway, Arsene Zakarian's more of a central player, and if he comes in January, obviously he'll be joining, you know, a new league, a new country as a young lad, going to a much harder league. I'm not saying he's going to jump into the Chelsea first team and just play, but he's got more first team experience, buckets more, than Carney Chukwuemeka, who's been given a chance in the Chelsea first team at times and turns to in times of need. So who knows, man? Arsene Zakarian, exciting. You know, another update, obviously reiterated here by Fabrizio Romano, coming to Chelsea, possibly in a matter of weeks. Exciting. Let me know what you think, and let's move on. Should we talk about Ronaldo now? Let's just do it a little bit. Look, Man United, of course, done the statement. They've terminated his contract. And he will want to play Champions League football. Now, Todd Boehly tried to sign Cristiano Ronaldo in the summer. But Thomas Tuchel was like, no, don't want that here. That's not going to work, several times. And to which they sort of kind of fell out with the ownership. And, you know, one of the few contributing factors that saw him sacked, as well as, you know, communication and some stuff with the players. I can't imagine Graham Potter's going to want this. yes, Ronaldo's a clinical goal scorer, and if you look at Potter's time at Chelsea so far, but indeed his time at, Brighton as well, all he needed was a finisher. That was the one thing he was missing, but you can make a case for it. I know many of you watching this will be Ronaldo stans, and God bless you, but I'm sorry, bro. It's not for the greater good. Dude is 38 years old, and forwards have to run in the Premier League. It's just how it is, dude. It's just how it is. It's not for the greater good. He caused such a toxic atmosphere, a destructive toxic atmosphere at Manchester United. Don't have that anywhere near my club. Chelsea are in the trenches as it is, bro. I don't want this guy having a sense of elitism around, and I just don't think Chelsea won the Champions League under Thomas Tuchel because there was a sense of digging in and underdog and, working for each other and not thinking was special, and Tuchel reiterated that many times in press conferences. That all goes down the pan as soon as Cristiano Ronaldo goes in there, because the hierarchy is immediately, he's like, I'm Ronaldo, I'm the greatest player to ever walk the earth. I'm going to be better than you, despite pushing 40 and not really playing that well for a while. I hope this doesn't happen. I do think there's a good chance he goes to Sporting. There's a story about his children enrolling over for schools in Portugal. So hopefully he goes over there and he gets to score some Champions League goals. And I wish him all the best. Away from Chelsea. Let's move on. Right, Romelu Lukaku. Do you remember him? Out of sight, out of mind for a while, eh? Been injured for a while at Inter. I guess he'll be reintegrated back into the team in the second half of the season after the World Cup. Of course, he is going to play for Belgium. And it'll be really interesting to see how he does in the World Cup. Imagine if he just absolutely balls out, looks really fit, and Graham Potter says, screw Ronaldo, we've got a big clunky forward that's a few, 7 years younger, or however many years younger, 8 years younger than Ronaldo. Just bring back Big Rom. See what happens, huh? Imagine if we played a front two of Lukaku and Aubameyang. Just funny football, isn't it? Football's like a peculiar soap opera where you just, a few years ago when Aubameyang was at Arsenal, Lukaku was at United. Imagine if you said, they'll be at Chelsea soon, playing together. Lol. Look, I'm not saying that's going to necessarily happen, but it's certainly interesting. There were stories suggesting that as things stand, Inter are not interested in renewing an already loosely pre-agreed arrangement to see Lukaku go on a second season loan at Inter, which of course is an obscenely bad deal financially for Chelsea. But one of the main things that the ownership had to understand and obviously have conversations about as soon as they bought Chelsea, Clearlake and Boehly, etc., was we've got this huge problem, and he's called Romelu Lukaku. And they're like, right, it's not working, fine, we're going to take the L, just try and just squeeze a few million, get his wages off the books, and we're just going to say that was a big mistake, we're never going to do that again. Fine. But maybe, I don't know, because we play more forward passes now. That's the thing. Like Graham Potter, he has more vertical, straight down the line passes than Thomas Tuchel. That's one thing that's been abundantly clear. Even if we played crap the last couple of games and generated absolutely no XG prior to that, one thing that you did see was this idea to make forward passes between the lines, and of course Romelu Lukaku ate those up for Inter and indeed Belgium. Could there be a chance where we see him return? So that's something to consider. I do want to talk about other players that we already have. Tino Livramento, the right back that we sold to Southampton, who Thomas Tuchel did apparently try and convince to keep. Very, very dynamic, exciting, quite high-octane player. He's not very necessarily big and strong, but he's a proper right back, like a relatively attacking right back, likes to get forward. And in times where we're playing Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Azpilicueta, right wing back, we just could have done with this kid, man. And a £25 million buyback clause. Of course, he's been in and out of the Southampton team, and we don't know what's happening there. There is certainly a talent there, but if he comes back in and does well, I think Chelsea should look to buy back Tino Livramento. Similarly, stories are talking about how, of course, long-term Chelsea target Joško Gvardiol which from RB Leipzig, and of course Croatia international, very young. I think he's like 20 or 21, but very accomplished already. Chelsea were looking to buy him, and he has they made a bid to buy him for around £77 million. £77 million. Like, what's that? £8 million more than Wesley Fofana from a Premier League rival, and I rate Wesley Fofana higher. I mean, you guys know me on the channel. I'm a massive Wesley Fofana super fan, and have been for a while. Like, maybe that run before he got his injury at Leicester, he was amazing to watch. I absolutely loved him. Chelsea are considering, or they're monitoring the situation with, of course, loanee and not sold player Levi Colwill, who looks to be settling into the Brighton team after a dominant display against Arsenal in the Cup. Of course, teammates letting him down. Dunk, his partner. Of course, a left footer that can play on the left side, Levi Colwill, that's progressive, strong, and looks like he can play in English football very, very well. That would save Chelsea £77 million. Now, this is coming from Cy Phillips. He said the club are aware of Colwill's potential and they rate him highly, and there's some at Chelsea who believe that he would be ready to come in the summer to come and play in the squad, essentially. So after this 1 year loan at Brighton, who by the way Brighton are playing well, De Zerbi looks like it could work there, to come back to Chelsea and start in the back line. I mean, like I said before, personally I think Chelsea should go to a back four, and then the days past Thiago Silva, of course, you utilise and rotate Kalidou Koulibaly, who had a good game for Senegal, let down by another Chelsea player, Edouard Mendy, in goal, which I guess we'll talk about another time. But the future of Chelsea's centre-back partnership could well be young Levi Colwill, 19 years old, I believe, and 21-year-old Wesley Fofana. Oof, that could see you through for a long, long time. Left-footed Levi on the left, and then Wesley on the right. Personally, I think that's absolutely mustard, mate. Let me know what you think on that, friends. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I think Chelsea, in terms of doing business, I mean, look, I listen to the London is Blue podcast. It's a great podcast. There's a guy called Sam, who's CFC Central on Twitter, a great analyst. I suggest you check him out. He spoke about the two cardinal sins of signing or spending a lot of money in the transfer window. One is reacting after a good World Cup performance and buying, a knee-jerk, high or expensive purchase from an international that looked well in the World Cup. Of course, there's the landscape, the environment, the variables, the charge, the drive. There's so many things that make up a performance in the World Cup that might not transcribe to or translate to a club in a particular country, in a particular league. So that is one. And of course, the January transfer window as well. So Chelsea will probably be looking to combine those two very, very negative or difficult things to navigate and sign someone in January. We've already heard officials from Chelsea reference the January transfer window. So you can bet your bottom dollar, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea are going to do business in January. But I think if we do, it will be a central defensive midfielder, a much needed one, who can really change the dynamic and the shape of our midfield. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there for today, a slightly shorter one. Let me know what you think. I'll be really looking forward to reading the comments as always. You guys have often got great insight to give, so thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing, man. And I look forward to seeing you guys very soon. Take care. Peace.